Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James and this is Astro Motivation, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little inspiration and motivation for your unique placement within your birth chart. You know, I really do feel that before a time of iPhones and iPads and this and that, we were a culture and a society that were better able to look up at the stars and understand exactly where our dreams were and how to get them. And so if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get into it. Today I'm excited to bring you the forecast for July of 2025. This is going to be a very exciting and unexpected moment of shakeups this July 2025 with the generational planet of Uranus moving into Gemini. This is going to be a time of exciting downloads, exciting new moments, unexpected occurrences. There's also going to be a transit of Saturn and retrograding into Pisces later on in the month, which is also going to be a really deep karmic and reflective time for those who have heavy Piscean placements. It's going to impact everyone because we all have Pisces in our chart. So this is also going to be, coupled with that Uranus transit, a very big moment of surrendering and shakeups. And lastly, in the later part of the month, we have a Mercury going into Leo. Mercury retrograde into Leo is going to be offering a very exciting time for, you know, new conversations to be had, some very romantic times to be dove into, and more. Okay, so without further ado, how I would like for you to watch this video is that I definitely want you to go ahead and watch for your rising sign. When it comes to predictions, as astrologers, we should get used to looking for and through our rising sign, because the rising sign makes up our chart, and therefore we are able to understand where each transit is going to be affecting each area of our lives, and you will get the most accurate prediction. If you don't know your rising sign, you can definitely still look for your sun or your moon, but I preferably will recommend looking towards that rising sign. Once you have that information, go ahead and tap the appropriate timestamp below that matches your rising sign, your sun sign, or your moon sign, and let's dive deep into July 2025. These three amazing transits that are going to be happening in July 2025 is going to make for a very beautiful month of rebirth. You know, this is going to be a time of revolutionizing how you think and how you communicate, and the structure of your life is going to go through a little shakeups, both physically and inwardly. All right, after all this is said and done, I'm sure you will come out of this feeling a little bit more grounded, imaginative, and using your voice in a little bit more of a clear way. Okay, so I'm excited. Let's go ahead and dive deep. Aries risers, suns, moons, I'm excited to bring you your July 2025 forecast. This is going to be a very exciting and, you know, exciting month that is going to bring a lot of shakeups, a lot of, you know, rising things up that need to be brought to the surface. That way you can settle into something new at this time. Okay, and so the first major transit that is going to be happening in your sky in July of 2025 is going to be the Uranus in Gemini. Okay, Uranus is going to be transiting into your Gemini third house, which is going to electrocute the mind, so to speak. Your mind is going to be on fire with new ideas, new downloads, new exciting and spontaneous conversations that will need to be had at this time, whether that be with your local neighborhood, whether that be with your siblings. You may even find that your siblings may be going through some shakeups in their life at this time with this Uranus transiting into your third house of Gemini. Okay, now the third house is all around your personal self-expression, so this may also be a time for you that you may start expressing yourself in some very unique and avant-garde ways. You know, this is where you begin to let your freak flag fly, so to speak, or where you begin to have some very futuristic conversations, or you allow that unique tone or that unique insight or that unique point of view come to light a little bit more often at this time, because with that Uranus transit moving to the third house, you're going to be taking on a little bit of a rebellious streak with this energy. You know, it's going to have you speaking in some very profound yet different ways with this transit. Okay, so this is going to be a quite exciting time for you. You may even find some exciting or unexpected occurrences happen to you through your siblings or your neighbors while you're walking in the neighborhood, you know, while you're at the coffee shop. Some exciting opportunities may come to you through that. But this is going to be the time to really allow your freak flag to fly, so to speak. Okay, don't hold back. Allow that uniqueness of self, allow that uniqueness of your expression to prove forward and shine light, because through this you could be really changing your life. All right, open that mouth, use that throat chakra, no matter how different it may be. okay? Now, later in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 12th house of mystery, of losses, of your subconscious, and your isolation. And with this Saturn transiting into your 12th house, this is going to be a moment of reflection a little bit. This is going to be the time where you may need to face what you've been hiding in your emotional and spiritual world at this time, okay? And you know, this may be also time where you may need to work on unveiling what has been hidden, you know, whether that be within your own personal soul, within your own personal trauma, you know, with what's going on in your psyche, maybe even you working a little bit harder on your spiritual connection or your spiritual divination, things like that. Like, you're gonna be really needing to get disciplined and serious about how you feel on a subconscious level, and what you need spiritually is going to be something that you will gotta kind of take a little bit seriously at this time, okay? Don't ignore burnout. I want you to be someone that is like, okay, if I'm working hard, if I'm doing too much, this is going to be the time where Saturn really wants you to honor those feelings of being a bit more reflective or needing a little bit of a timeout at this time, okay? So you may find that through you taking that time out for you, through you being someone that is being a bit more reflective at this time and tapping into your spiritual connection, that this is why with that Uranus transiting into Gemini, that you are coming out and saying what needs to be said, or what you are saying can be seen as quite different or shocking or profound at this time. You see how the planets they work in tandem, they work together as a story. So this could be why with that Uranus transit moving into your 3rd house, due to the fact that the Saturn is kind of going retrograde in Pisces in your 12th house, that there's going to be a new sense of being, a new sense of insight that is coming to you at this time through that spiritual connection, through your ability to isolate, through your ability to just take a time out, take a beat, meditate, and get your mind right, so to speak, okay? So this could be that time for you. Now, the last major transit that is going to be happening for you in your sky in July of 2025 is going to be that of the Mercury retrograde going into Leo. And this is going to be the time where, you know, Mercury is going to bring the drama back to the yard, if that makes sense. This may be the time where old lovers may text you. This may be the time where this could be you revisiting old projects or old artistic hobbies that you may have, you know, got distracted for and put down. This could be the time that you pick it back up, okay? So this is also the time where you will need to tend to your inner child, okay? Your Mercury retrograde is going into Leo in your 5th house of the inner child, of your hobbies, of your dating life. And so there's going to be a bit of some revisitation energy here, okay? So revisit this area of life, play a little, you know, really think about your artistic endeavors, think about past lovers. Maybe, you know, I always say when past lovers come up, try to, if need be, right, try to fix that issue with that person from a new, more evolved lens. And if that person is still where you left them, then that lets you know that the severance between you two is justified, if that makes sense, right? But try not to repeat past patterns, because what these retrograde planets do when they go retrograde is that, you know, the universe likes to test us, and it wants to see if we have truly evolved from the situation and has crystallized the lesson that it was meant to teach us. And the only way that the universe will know if it's being crystallized in us, right, the lesson that it wanted us to learn, would be to exercise it on something, or exercise it on, you know, a past situation. So this Mercury retrograde is going to give you the opportunity to exercise that lesson on a past lover, okay? Or you revisiting your love life in a way that you may have not done before, okay? So this is going to be that time for you. Now, your affirmation for this July of 2025 is going to be, I allow brilliance to flow in stillness, okay? That is gonna be your big affirmation for July of 2025. Really excited for you within this July of 2025 for you. There are definitely gonna be some other transits, but these are just the 3 major ones. I'll definitely on my channel try to keep up with those transits as they come throughout July. But without further ado, I am wishing you a very, very exciting July of 2025. Let me know in the comments below if you are feeling this in your orbit, if you are excited about the changes that are going to be coming to you in the different areas that I've described, okay? So without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. For my Taurus risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm excited to bring you your July 2025 forecast and horoscope. There's going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky in this upcoming July 2025, and that's going to be the Uranus transiting into Gemini, your Saturn retrograde into Pisces, and the Mercury retrograde going into Leo. Now this is going to happen in different areas of your chart, and I will get into them as we go forth and decipher the forecast. But the first most important transit is going to be this generational transit of the outer planet Uranus moving into Gemini in your second house, okay? And so this is going to be your house of finances. This is going to be your house of your self-worth. This is going to be the house of your values and what really matters to you. And this is also going to be your house of your income, okay? And your money and how you make it. And so with this transit, this is going to shake some things up, okay? This is going to really having you sitting down and reevaluating how you make money. This may be the time with Uranus transiting into your second house of Gemini that you create some new, innovative, creative ways to make money for yourself, whether that be through media, whether that be through technology, so on and so forth. Whatever it will be, when you finally get done creating this new venture, when you tell people what it is and how it is that you make money, people will scratch their head and say, how do you make money doing that? But this is going to be that time where you must go to the drawing board and, get your kind of mad scientist, mad genius on, if that makes sense. This is the time to brainstorm, because Uranus is going to be bringing you some new insights and some new pathways to be making some money in some very unique ways moving forward. But before all that happens, before all this happens, you must get clear on what matters to you moving forward. And what is going to matter to you moving forward is going to look different. It's going to look different from the family you grew up in. It's going to look different from what society thinks is normal. It's going to look different from even maybe what you have allowed yourself to believe, or what you may have felt has mattered to you in previous years. This Uranus transit in your Gemini second house is going to shake up how you feel about what matters to you, and it's going to be bringing you some unconventional values. It's going to be bringing you some unconventional themes of like, oh, this is what matters to me, and it's going to look different, and that's okay. I want you to allow that to be okay, all right? Because in you following that new, inventive, radical sense of self and sense of self-worth, it's going to lead you down that path to create money for yourself in some very unique ways, okay? So that is what is going to be happening for you within this monumentous major transit of the Uranus transit moving into your second house, okay? So go forth and prosper with that. Now later in the month, you are going to be having this Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 11th house, where, this could be the time where the 11th house is the house of your friends. It's the house of the communities and the tribes that you're a part of. It's also how you are meant to get towards your future dreams, goals, and wishes in life. And so when you have a Saturn retrograde going into Pisces in your 11th house here, this is the time where you may need to also reevaluate your dreams, reevaluate the goals that you've been going after, or the goals that you have held for yourself for all your life. It kind of reminds me of that Uranus transit moving into your second house, where you're rewiring what really matters to you, right? And when Saturn moves into that 11th house, you may have to rewire or remix what really matters for you as far as your future goes, okay? What matters to you as far as like where you are headed in life, okay? Now this may also be a moment in time where, with that Saturn retrograde moving into your Pisces in the 11th house, that friends, the communities, the people that you're around start to feel a bit outdated, okay? Because your dreams are changing, because who you are is changing, because your self-worth is changing due to that Uranus transit into Gemini in the second house, you may find that the people around you just aren't jiving in the way that they used to jive, right? Maybe the people that you are around, you were around them because you all shared a common goal, a common vision, a common likeness, right? But now, because that radical change is happening in your second house and this Saturn retrograde is happening in the Pisces 11th house, this is going to be the time where you may have to find new groups of people, new workshops, new communities to be a part of, new friends and cliques to be a part of at this time, okay? So really do take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but really do try to, if this is happening in your orbit, honor it, okay? Because this, you may find, this is one of those trends that I say with the Saturn retrograding into Pisces in the 11th house. This is all around like you are only as successful as the 5 people around you, right? And it's very important that you get clear about your circle when Saturn transits into the 11th house, because you have to really be conscious of who is helping you row your boat to your dreams or who's poking holes in your boat, okay? And so this is going to be the time where you really will need to get clear with that Saturn retrograde moving into your 11th house. This may also be the time where old themes around your goals, your dreams, your friends may pop up again. You know, this may be a revisitation of some karma that may need to come up around your pathway towards your goals, your pathway towards your connection to your friends, okay? So again, if these past themes come up, honor them, come at them from a more evolved place in life, you know, try to say, oh, this has happened to me 5 years ago with that same friend, or oh, this has happened to me 6 years ago when I was trying to go after that goal or dream. Maybe this is the time where I will fix it from a little bit more of an evolved place. Okay, because that is what usually the retrograde planets are offering you the moment to do. It's offering you a moment to come at an old lesson, an old theme from a more evolved version of self so that it doesn't affect you any longer. Okay, so that's what's going to be happening with that major transit of Saturn retrograde moving into your 11th house. Now lastly, which is going to be somewhat of the cherry on top here, right? Because Mercury retrograde is going to be going into your Leo 4th house, okay? And this is going to be the time where family matters may be the focus. You may find that some things may go awry within your home life, or there could be some changes happening within your home life or within your family dynamic, okay? There may need to be some conversations that may need to be had with mom or with the children or with the husband or with the wife, you know, your family, whatever is happening in the context of your 4 walls within your home, within your family, there's gonna need to be some focus there, okay? There's gonna be some things that you need to reconnect with, especially you reconnecting with your roots, you connecting with your emotional center, and what makes you feel safe is gonna be something that is gonna be the focus here, okay? And it's gonna be things that you've already encountered. But like I said, remember, the Mercury retrograde, or the retrogrades in general, the transits, they are having you revisit old lessons, old themes, old challenges, and it wants you to come at it from a more evolved version of self so that it doesn't happen again, okay? So that is what's going to be happening for you in a nutshell for your July 2025. I'm really excited for you, okay? Now, I really do want to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation, okay? If you could just close your eyes. The affirmation for your July of 2025 is going to be, I build my future with intention and heart, okay? And a little bit of radicalism and innovation, all right? That is your affirmation for July 2025. Please let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you are feeling these tones and signatures happening in your orbit at this time. But without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Gemini risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to bring you your July 2025 forecast. There are going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky during this time, and I'm excited to dive deep with you to see what is going to be on the cards and in the stars for you at this time, okay? So first and foremost, there's going to be a monumentous outer planet that is going to be transiting into Gemini at this time. Uranus is going to be transiting into Gemini, and for you, this is going to be happening in your first house. This is going to be your transit, and OMG, is this going to be a very exciting one, okay? It's going to be an electric one. This is going to be the time when Uranus is going to be transiting into your Gemini first house, into your rising sign, where there's going to be a complete upgrade, okay? This is going to be a complete shift in your look, in your values, in who you are, in your path in life. This is going to be that time where a fork in the road is going to be presented to you, and this is going to be the time where I want you to go left while everyone else is going right. This is going to be the time for you to really honor your authenticity, for you to really go in the direction of your goals and dreams outside of societal norms, outside of what the family wants from you, outside of what your friends doing. this is going to be the time for you to do the thing that lights you up, that sets your soul on fire, no matter what it looks like to the people around you. And should you do this, you will honor this Uranus transit, and only great things will come to you at this time, okay? So this is a time to let go of an old sense of self. This is the time to reinvent yourself. This is a time for a new look. You know, this is time to wear that neon green. This is time to put that red streak in the hair. You know, this is that time for you to shake things up, okay? And honor the new sense of self that is being offered to you at this time, okay? Now, what else can be seen here? Of course, there will be a new mindset, but I also feel like this is going to be the time where you are being allowed to kind of march to the beat of your own drum, okay? So really do honor this transit. It's a huge one, and this is going to be here for the next 7 years. This is a very, very long and lengthy transit. It's a new chapter, a new lease on life. Okay, so really do go forth and prosper with it. If you feel that stir in your spirit to do things differently, or to change things up, or to say something you haven't said before, this is the time to do it, okay? You will be graced and you will be blessed should you move in that light, because that is what the universe wants from you at this time. Okay, now later on in the month, you are going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 10th house of career and public image. Okay, and when Saturn retrogrades, or just retrogrades in general, this is going to be a time of a revisitation of old past lessons, okay? And so this could be the time where you recommit to your job. This could be the time where you could recommit to an endeavor, a goal that you have had for yourself, a professional dream or goal that you have had for yourself for quite a while. This is the time where you kind of hunker down and recommit yourself to it, okay? This is also a time where you are meant to kind of like refine your role in society, or refine your role within your work, or what you do in life, all right? So this is going to be quite an exciting time for you, but it is going to ask that you claim responsibility over your professional destiny at this time, okay? And this transit is going to be here for a little bit of time, okay? So really do go forth and prosper with that in this energy. It's going to require work, you know. It's Saturn retrograde is going into the house of work, and so this is going to be a little bit of a, although you are being given this exciting moment within your first house of who you are and your sense of self, there is going to be a little bit more of structure that will be asked of you within your career life, and what you need to do as far as going after your goals and dreams at this time, okay? So really do go forth and prosper in that area. Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in Leo in your 3rd house of communication, of siblings, of your immediate environment, and your neighbors, okay? And this is also the area of your expression, your personality a little bit, okay? And so when you have this transit, this is going to be the time where you may need to be very conscious of what you say, especially towards your neighbors, towards the siblings, towards the conversations that you're having with the siblings, okay? This could be the time where you are really needing to revise your communication skills, okay? There could be some old lessons that are coming up through the siblings, through the neighbors, through your immediate environment with others, okay? So this is going to be the time where you really do need to be conscious, okay? Be very particular about the things that you say, because some shakeups here could happen, or some mix-ups, or some miscommunications could happen with the siblings, with the neighbors, with just in general in life. You communicating is going to happen, okay? And it's just going to be a little bit of a brief moment. It's not going to be forever, but you know, this is going to be that time where you are going to need to be very cognizant about how you are communicating your message or expressing yourself, okay? And so that is what's going to be happening for you in a nutshell within July of 2025, okay? This looks like a very exciting time, especially with that major transit of Uranus moving into your 1st house. This is your transit. I mean, to have an outer planet move into your 1st house, you're going to really begin to embody that outer planet, okay? So this is quite an exciting time for you to just change your life. It's going to be quite life-changing, okay? And so let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you feel that stir in your spirit to change things up. Let me know if you are at the same time having to really focus on restructuring, rewiring, and getting a little bit more serious about your career at this time. And although you are the Gemini riser, let me know if you are at the same time having to also be cognizant about what you say, or what you voice, or the opinions that you offer at this time, okay? This is going to be happening later in the month, so, you know, it's not all going to be happening at once, if that makes sense. So what I like to do in these videos is I like to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation for you, okay? And so what your affirmation for July of 2025 is going to be is that I want you to say, I welcome my next evolution and change in life. This change in life is going to bring me into things that I could never imagine for myself, but I am ready for them. That is your affirmation for July of 2025, okay? So you go forth and you prosper with that, okay? I want to see big things from you. You have a great day. Take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Cancer risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you your July forecast for this month ahead, okay? So there are going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm excited to dive deep with you within them, okay? And the first monumentous transit that is going to be happening in your sky is going to be the Uranus transit into Gemini, okay? Uranus is finally transiting into Gemini, which is going to be a new 7-year karmic window. And where this is going to be happening for you is going to be within your 12th house of your subconscious, of your spiritual connection, of your nighttime dreams, okay? So this is going to be a time where new exciting downloads could be happening for you. A spiritual awakening could be happening for you. You may also begin to, with a burst of insight or an epiphany that may happen during this month, you may really start to get clear on some patterns that may have held you back in life, or that you need to revisit and change about yourself at this time. But this is going to also awaken some new spiritual insights, spiritual gifts that are going to be happening for you. You may become incredibly intuitive within this next 7 years. You may also be picking up some new spiritual practices. You know, you may dive deep into Reiki. You may dive deep into metaphysical healing. You may dive deep into astrology. You may dive deep into any of the woo-woo alternative spiritual subjects. You will be someone that not only is quite good at them, but you have quite an affinity for them, and you may go in that direction at this time, okay? So just really carry a notepad around with you, carry a recorder with you that you can like record your insights into, because this is going to be the time of great spiritual awakenings and epiphanies, and even enlightenment can happen during this time in July of 2025 onward. This is going to be a very lengthy transit. This is going to begin in July of 2025, but this is going to be here for the next 7 years. So really do buckle up for that. That is going to be quite exciting for you. Okay, what else? Okay, so now later in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde happening in your Pisces 9th house. Now, the 9th house is all around travel, education, teaching, law, even a little bit. And so this is going to be the time when Saturn retrogrades into your 9th house, where you may need to reassess a course, where you may need to reassess a class, where you may need to get clear on your travels or your relocation in life, right? May also be the time where you need to get clear on your personal spiritual connection and your higher values in life, your higher minded values and your particular philosophies that you have come to believe in. This may be the time where you need to reassess them, or where something may happen that will challenge those beliefs, that will kind of have you a little bit, having to work through that in your mind and your psyche and your heart of, is this what I truly believe? A, B, and C has happened. Do I believe in the way that I've believed before? Or is this the moment where I press through and say, yes, I do believe in this particular thing, and that is the work in and of itself, okay? So this is going to be the time of reassessing beliefs, core teachings, your values, your travel plans, a spiritual or academic path may need to be reshaped for you in life at this time, okay? This may be the time for my people who are in college or going to college, where you may need to redo that application, or where you may need to, go in a different direction within your college experience or your academic career in life, okay? So this is a big karmic point with that Saturn retrograde. It may present some delays in these areas as well. Like maybe you had a plan towards a certain school or a certain college or a certain course, but there's some delays there, or a little bit of restriction there at this time of Saturn retrograde. You may also find that the same is true for your travel plans. Maybe you have planned a vacation, but because something is happening at this time, you may have to cancel those plans or push them back a little bit, or if it's not a travel plan, maybe it's a relocation endeavor, right? Some type of hiccup will happen where you will need to pause a little bit, reassess, redefine, before you are able to press forward, okay? And you'll be able to press forward after that Saturn retrogrades out of that 9th house, okay? So that is what's going to be happening for you there. Now, later on in the month, to put the cherry on top, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in Leo, and this is going to be happening in your 2nd house of your self-worth, of how you feel about yourself, of your money and your finances. And with that Mercury retrograde, this is going to be bringing a moment of reflection towards how you think about your money. You know, this is going to be the time where your money may need to take a little bit of a second look, where you may need to peruse through your finances and see where you are overspending or underspending, if that makes sense. You know, this is going to be the time to really reflect on your true sense of self-worth as well, and how you feel about yourself. Because remember, for you, as a Leo, as a Cancer who has Leo in 2nd house, how you feel about yourself is your net worth, okay? And so with this Mercury retrograde moving into your 2nd house, this is a revisitation of how do you feel about yourself. Let's get clear on how you feel. Let's get clear on that confidence, because in you being confident, in you doing what you know you are meant to do in this life and doing it to the fullest, that's where your money comes from, okay? So although this may be a little bit of a bruise to the ego a little bit, or a shake up to your self-confidence, work through it, you know? Take that second look. Don't be afraid of the challenge that is being presented here, because should you press through it, greater money opportunities can be meant for you after this Mercury retrograde is said and done, okay? So that is what I have for you in a nutshell for your July of 2025, my Cancer risers, suns, and moons. Let me know if this resonates with you in the comments below. That way, not only do you help me, but you help those who are also going through a similar journey as yourself, okay? Let me know what you are feeling in your immediate environment. Remember, these things are not happening at once. They are gonna be toppling on to each other throughout the month. So if need be, circle back later in the month and let me know if these things have panned out for you as we have discovered here, okay? Now, what I like to do is I like to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation for your July of 2025. And for you, your affirmation is going to be, what I know deep inside will guide me forward to not only my truth, but my success as well, all right? And so without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Leo risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you your July 2025 forecast and horoscope. There are going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm excited to dive deep with you within them, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So the first major, monumentous, groundbreaking transit for you that is going to be happening in your sky is this Uranus transiting into Gemini. Uranus is a very slow moving generational planet, and when it moves kind of for a moment. It's going to be offering you a new chapter in your life, a new 7-year story for you. And so with this Gemini transiting into Uranus, or Uranus transiting into Gemini, this is going to be happening in your 11th house of your friendships, of your communities, of your future dreams, goals, and wishes. And at this time, you may find that the communities that you're a part of, the people that you've been around, the tribe, the communities in the organization in which you've been affiliated with may go through a sudden shift. You may find that the people that you've been hanging out with, or the people that you're around, the organization that you've been pandering to, no longer jives, okay? That it is now time to have a big turnover of friendships, or a big turnover of who you are affiliated with. This is also the house of your future dreams, goals, and wishes, and how you are to attain them. And when you have a Uranus transiting move into your 11th house, this is going to be the time where you may actually change your dreams. You know, you may find that this is the time where the thing that you've been aiming for, the thing that you've been going after for quite a while, you don't want it anymore, okay? Or you may want to tweak it a little bit, or you may want to go in a different direction, okay? Or you may want to do something different that may offer you the same energetic and emotional satisfaction, but just in a new, different way, okay? But this is going to be an exciting time for you to connect with new people who can be quite interesting, who will carry a sense of eccentricity, who will be a bit more eclectic, who are a bit more different, okay? And this difference will be celebrated by you, okay? Uranus transiting into this 11th house is actually very good because Uranus is kind of at home in this house. So great things are going to be coming to you in your ability to form authentic bonds with people, you know, find better friendships that are matching you, okay? You and your truest authentic streak, you and your most authentic form is what is going to be a blessing for you should you move with that intent, okay? As you not holding back, you not trying to fit in, but you being all that you can be, and all of your wildest eccentricities. It's gonna help you towards your goals, it's gonna help you towards your dreams, and it's gonna help you connect with a more authentic group of people, a better organization, a better community, a better group of friends, okay? So this is that time for you, all right? Now, moving forward, later on in the month, okay, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 8th house of intimate bonds, shared resources, debts, taxes, sex, you know, all the taboo subjects that we don't like to talk about with mom. You're going to be having this Saturn retrograde into Pisces at this time here. And so this is going to be a time of reevaluation where old lessons, old themes around debts, taxes, shared resources, intimate bonds are going to come up. Whenever there's a retrograde in the chart, whether by transit or just by natally, there is a revisitation of old wounds, of old lessons or old challenges that were meant to offer you lessons. And now with this Saturn transit moving, this Saturn retrograde transiting into your Pisces 8th house, this is where Saturn is going to be asking you to refine this area of life from a more evolved sense of self, with a little bit more clarity, with a little bit more knowledge, with a little bit more responsibility at this time, okay? So you may need to reevaluate your debts, the money that you are accumulating and the debts that are accruing. You may need to come at them from a little bit more of a mature place. This may be the time where through your energetic, emotional, and sexual bonds, you may need to really reevaluate who's draining you, you know, who's draining you and who's lighting you up. All right, because that would let you know who is for you and who is not, if that makes sense. This is that time for you. You may also be challenged with a little bit of change, where a little bit of change in your life is warranted at this time, where you are being asked to kind of let go of things that no longer serve you, letting go of people who no longer serve you, letting go of an environment, a group of people, a place, a home. This could be the time of great change for you as well, but you must be open to it, if that makes sense, okay? And you must be open to it on a karmic sense. It's not really a decision. It's something that you must be open to in order for you to get to where the universe is trying to get you to in life, okay? So that is what's going to be happening for you within your 8th house of debts, taxes, shared resources, intimate bonds. This is going to be a revisitation of old lessons that need to be worked through from a more evolved sense of self. A little bit more clarity, a little bit more responsibility, a little bit more grit, a little bit more elbow grease is going to be needed and asked of you in this area of life. Don't be afraid of this area of life, because for you sometimes this could feel like a little bit of a nebulous area for you. You know, when it comes to sex, when it comes to being open and vulnerable, when it comes to those taxes and debts, this can feel like a very scary and avoidable area for you. You just don't want to think about it, you know, but this is going to be the time where you must think about it, where you must get clear about these things, okay? Because should you do, you will find success in this area once this Saturn retrograde passes, all right? Or you may get a little bit more clear about this area once this Saturn retrograde passes, okay? So that's what's going to be happening for you during that Saturn retrograde transit. Now, the last transit to put the cherry on top that is going to be happening in July of 2025 is going to be a Mercury retrograde in Leo. Now, this is going to be happening in your first house of self. And so this is going to be giving you a little bit of a window of time to rebrand yourself, okay? This is going to be a personal reinvention. This is going to be a time where you must rethink how you speak, how you offer your truth, how you offer your opinions, how you show up in the world a little bit, okay? Especially in the way in which you communicate and express yourself, okay? This may be the time where you may need to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, I think I need to rebrand myself. I think I need to redo things. I need to redo how I am showing up in the world. Even if you are not a public figure, just how you show up in the world as a person walking down the street, you're going to be reinventing that a little bit. How you talk to the people around you, how you talk to your family, you're going to be reinventing that a little bit at this time, okay? So you're going to be given that brief window. And so that leads me to my affirmation that I want to give you at this time for July of 2025. Your affirmation for July of 2025 is going to be, my authenticity is magnetic. Who I am, what my truth is my beacon. is my success, okay? And so this is gonna be the time in you saying that affirmation to yourself, and not only saying it, but living it, that you will do just that you will get just that, okay? So let me know if this resonates with you. Do know that these transits are gonna be happening in like a cascade. They're gonna be happening as the month goes by. So everything isn't gonna be happening at once, but do let me know if you can sense this stir in your spirit to have that personal rebrand, or, you know, change some friends, change a community, you know, change the people that you've been pandering to. Let me know if this resonates with you, okay? Let me know if you do feel in your soul and your heart that it is time to go drudge up those debts and those taxes and see exactly what needs to be paid for and how to rectify them, or if there's someone in your life who is challenging your ability to open up and be vulnerable and sexually open with them. Let me know if this is happening for you during July of 2025, okay? But without further ado, I am wishing you all the best, my beautiful Leo risers, suns, and moons. You take care and go be great, all right? You have a good one. Bye. For my Virgo risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. There are so many major transits happening in your sky at this time, and I'm so excited to deliver your forecast and horoscope for this month ahead, okay? So first and foremost, the most major, exciting, groundbreaking transit that is going to be happening in your sky in July is going to be the Uranus transiting into Gemini. This Uranus transit into Gemini is going to be bringing a new chapter, a new window, a new story that is going to be happening in your life, okay? Because this is the generational planet. This is an outer planet finally moving into a different sign. And for you, this is going to be taking place in your 10th house of career, your public image, your legacy in life. And so this may give you the moment to change jobs. This may be bringing you some exciting opportunities or some breakthroughs that are going to be happening within your career story. And they may come out of nowhere. You know, there may be things that you didn't even plan on, that you weren't even thinking about, okay? Uranus is going to be bringing you some exciting opportunities within your career life. So whether you are looking for work, whether you are already working, whether you are planning on changing jobs, those things are all possible. You're going to be finding some changes within this area of your life as far as work goes, and it's going to come out of nowhere, okay? So it kind of expect the unexpected with this type of energy. You know, a new role could be happening for you. You could pivot into a different role or a different path in life, all right? You could completely change your job, all right? This could also, you could launch a new project, launch a new endeavor, put something out that is quite exciting for the world to see. But one thing that's for certain is that the capital word of change is going to be there for you within your career story. Okay, so that's quite exciting. You may also find with this Uranus transit moving into your 10th house that you are shaking things up in your career, if that makes sense. Like, you're going to be someone within your job that could be shaking the room, shaking the table with your insights. You could be putting on your rebellious streak. You could be finding that when it comes to your career that maybe you don't want to work under people. Maybe you don't like authority anymore. Maybe you just want to go into a more entrepreneurial path or create something different or do something that is completely innovative, completely different than what you thought career should be or what people think career should be. This is going to be that time, okay? You may be showing up quite differently in the world, okay? So that is what's going to be taking place for you with this Uranus transit into your Gemini 10th house. A new path, a new exciting path is going to be unfolding for you, okay? Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in your 7th house of relationships and commitments and partnerships. And so this is going to be the time with the Saturn retrograde that there's going to be some old lessons, some old themes, some old challenges that are going to be asking for you to work through them from a more evolved lens, okay? This is going to be the time where, you know, your relationships, your current relationships in life are going to be asking for you to put them under review. This is going to be the time where you're asking yourself who's supporting your growth and who isn't, who's holding you back, who isn't, what relationships in your life are mutually beneficial and which ones aren't, okay? This may be the time where there's a little bit of a sobering up within your relationships in life, okay? Where you're starting to see some people clearly, okay? And I do know with that Pisces 7th house, sometimes that can be really tough for you, but with this Saturn transit moving into your 7th house, this could be the time where you do gain a little bit of clarity of the relationships in your life and seeing if the scales are balanced a little bit more, okay? You could even be creating a little bit of boundaries here. Establishing some long overdue boundaries within your close connections and relationships are going to be in store for you at this time, okay? Because you're really gonna be asking yourself, which relationships in my life are built to last? Okay, and remember, whenever a planet goes retrograde in the chart, especially by transit, it shows that the universe is kind of come in and offer a challenge. It's going to offer you a challenge in that area of your life for you to work through it from a more evolved and knowledgeable lens, okay? It's bringing up old karma, and that old karma is coming up to you through your relationships. And so should you attack this area from a more evolved and knowledgeable lens, you will find that by the time the Saturn retrograde is over, that you will find better relationships, better commitments, better business partnerships, okay? So go forth and prosper in that area. Now later on in the month, okay, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in Leo 12th house. And so the 12th house is all around your subconscious. It's around your isolated tendencies. It's around your spiritual connection. And so with this Mercury retrograde here, you do need rest, okay? This could be the time where a little bit of rest, a little bit of reflection, especially in the mind, is being asked of you at this time, okay? This could be the time where you are needing to journal or write things down or, you know, retreat and recharge a little bit, especially to reinvigorate your mental capacity, okay? There could just be a lot going on. You just really need a moment to breathe, okay, especially in the mind, okay? So this is that time. You may also find that like your like past thoughts can resurface, okay? Things that you may have put to rest in the mind that you dealt with, they could be coming back up in the mind. You know, you could be feeling like, oh, I thought I was over that, but you're kind of not over that, if that makes sense. And they're going to be resurfacing so that you can release them, deal with them, you know, have them teach you something, and then it moves forward from there, okay? So that is what I have for you for July of 2025. Of course, there are going to be other little minuscule and minute transits, but these are the most prominent during July of 2025, okay? And so let me know if this resonates with you. Remember, everything is not going to be happening at once. You know, July 1st, everything that I described is not going to be happening on July 1st. It's going to be happening throughout the month, little by little, okay? And so let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you're feeling this stir in your spirit around your career, you know, if you feel or you have, you know, that sixth sense to know like something's percolating in my career. I know something's gonna happen, like, or you feel a breakthrough is gonna be happening within your career at this time. Let me know, okay? Also, let me know if there's gonna be if you feel, you know, there's a relationship or there's some relationships that need some reevaluating at this time. Let me know, okay? But what I like to do is I like to leave this with a little bit of an affirmation for you for your July of 2025. And so for you, this is going to be, I trust my divine timing in all of my partnerships and relationships in life, okay? That's what I want you to say for yourself, okay? And with that, I will leave you to it. You have a beautiful, blessed day. I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Libra risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you the horoscope and the astrology forecast for your July 2025, okay? There are 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm really excited to dive deep for you within them, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. The first monumentous, groundbreaking transit is going to be that of the Uranus transiting into Gemini, okay? Uranus is finally going to be making its way into the sign of Gemini, which is going to be offering you a new story, a new chapter, a new 7-year window where you will be dealing with Gemini or Uranus energy in some new ways, okay? And so where this is going to be happening for you in particular is going to be in your 9th house of higher learning, higher education, traveling, teaching, and your higher beliefs and philosophies in life, okay? And so this may be the time with this Uranus transiting into your 9th house where you may be finding that some exciting opportunities, some exciting unexpected opportunities can be happening to you within your academic career. Maybe you get accepted into that college. Maybe you find that you want to learn something new that is a little bit avant-garde or strange or different, okay? This could be the time where maybe you're in school and you're like, you know what? I want to learn about so and so and so. And when you call your parents and you tell them what you're learning about, they say, you want to do what? You want to learn about what? This could also be the time where you may find that your philosophies and your higher belief systems change a little bit, that they veer a little left, they veer a little on the more alternative side of things, okay? This could also happen within your spiritual beliefs as well. You know, whatever you believe or whatever you hold true as far as what you believe about life and about the world and existence, it may veer a little left. Your point of view may be seen as a bit different or, you know, radical with this energy, okay? Embrace it. This is what the universe wants of you at this time, is to kind of really shift your perspective, to shift your thinking, to shift your beliefs a little bit at this time, irregardless of what those around you may think or what they may feel about it, okay? You may also find that this could be the time where some unusual or unexpected trips or vacations could be happening. Some impromptu vacations could be happening. You know, a friend could call you up and say, hey, we're going on a road trip. Pack your bags in 2 minutes and we're out the door. And they take you to somewhere new or somewhere different. This could be that time where you are just really, really opening up your heart, your mind, your horizons to something new. Okay, so be open to the newness, be open to the spontaneity, be open to the shift that is happening in this area of your life. Lastly, you could also be attracting some very unique teachers, some very unique gurus. You may even be taking up a very unique course, like I said before. This could be that time where alternative learning, alternative beliefs are going to be on the cards for you and in the stars for you at this time. Okay, so that is what's going to be happening for you within your Uranus transit to Gemini in your 9th house. Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde move into your 6th house of daily routines, health, fitness, diet, okay, your work and service a little bit. And this may be the time where with this Saturn transit, the Saturn retrograde transit is going to be a moment where you will need to reevaluate how you work, what your schedule is, you know, how you're approaching your work and service, your daily habits, things like that are going to need a little bit of reassessing, and it is going to require a little bit of discipline out of you, if that makes sense, and it's going to require structure, okay? Now, what I will say is that if burnout is occurring for you within life, this does mean that boundaries are needed in this area. Maybe you're overgiving, maybe you're overdoing it, maybe you are being overly compassionate within your careers or within your job or within how you handle your schedule, okay? So really do work through that. Whenever there's a Saturn retrograde transit, this is an opportunity for you to come at past lessons and wounds in that particular area that you have faced before, but this time you are meant to work through them from a little bit more of an evolved and knowledgeable lens. That is what the Saturn retrogrades transits are offering you. It's a moment where the universe tries to test you in those boundaries. It tries to test you in the things that you have said you've learned, okay? It wants to see if you've really learned it, okay? And so this is going to be the time that, like I said, should you approach this area of work, service, so your schedules, your diet, your fitness from a little bit more of an evolved lens, okay, you will get through it and you will find a little bit more success in this area of life for you, okay? Moving onward, to put the cherry on top, there's going to be a Mercury retrograde in Leo, and for you this is going to be happening in your 11th house of friendships, okay? And so this could be the time where you could be reconnecting with old friends, old affiliates, old networks, okay? This could also be the time where you revise your role in maybe a community project, or even you could be going back to the drawing board around your dreams in life, you know, where it is you want to end up in 10, 20 years, right? You could be reassessing or reevaluating what it is you really want to do in life, okay? So go back to the drawing board and see what sticks at this time, okay? So, without further ado, let me know if this resonates with you, okay? Do know that this is all not going to be happening on July 1st. This is going to be happening in chronological order as the month goes, okay? And what I like to do is I like to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation, okay? And your affirmation for July of 2025 is the right wisdom and the right beliefs in life will find me, okay? That is what you will need to be saying to yourself for this July of 2025, okay? So without further ado, I am wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Scorpio risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you the forecast and horoscope for the month ahead, okay? There are some exciting transits in the stars for you at this time, and I'm excited to explore them and dive deep with you within them, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. The first monumentous and amazing transit for you is going to be happening in Uranus and Gemini in your 8th house, okay? Now, Uranus is an outer planet, and this is going to be one of the most monumentous times for all of us because this is a generational planet moving on into a new 7-year window, a new 7-year chapter for you in life. And so this is going to be happening for you within your 8th house of shared resources, shared finances, your sexual endeavors, your emotional endeavors with others, your deep connections with people. This is going to be a time where, this Uranus transit is going to have some shifts happen for you in this area. You may find that, your intimate bonds may change, or your ability to share resources may change with others, okay? Whatever you are gaining from others, whether sexually, financially, emotionally from others, there may be a shift there. There may be a change there, okay? You may also be changing how you intimately relate with others, or what your sexual, emotional, and financial needs are with others. You may be changing those. You may be reevaluating those. So it's not always just others are doing it to you. You may be coming at it from a new and different angle at this time. And so if you are feeling that stir in your spirit to shake things up, or turn on your rebellious streak in that area, or turn on your innovative, different streak in that area of life, do it. This is that time where you are meant to be taking a little bit of an unexpected route in this area of life, okay? Because whether you are doing it or it's going to be done unto you, this is what's going to be happening for you in this area of life, okay? And this is going to be a big 7-year window, so everything won't be happening all at once in July, but you may be starting to feel that stir in your spirit to come at this area of life from a little bit of a different angle. Okay, some unexpected transformations may happen for you as well in life, whether physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Okay, there may be some inheritances gained all of a sudden, like things like that can happen. All right, now later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 5th house of creativity, fun, romance. And so this is going to be the time where you may need to really reevaluate your joy and your creativity. This may be the time where you need to ask yourself, what is blocking me from having fun? What's blocking me from letting my hair down and really claiming joy in my life? What's blocking me from accessing my, love life? This is the time where you go to the drawing board and you really meditate on these things, where you really pray on these things, where you really do get clear. Whenever there's a Saturn retrograde by transit, this is going to be the time where the universe is throwing out a lesson, okay? It's bringing back up an old theme, an old, challenge that we were supposed to learn from, and it's going to be funneling it through this area of your life. And so this old lesson, this old theme is going to be coming up around your love life, around your love life, your creativity, your joy in life. And the questions that are going to need to be answered from you are going to be from the questions of what's holding me back, what's making me unclear in this area, what am I not seeing quite clearly in this area that's preventing me from accessing this part of my life, or preventing me from having fun, preventing me from, love, romance, children even, okay? So this is quite a karmic time for you, and it's quite a karmic window, all right? So lastly, later on in the year, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in Leo, which is going to be happening in your 10th house of legacy, of career, of public image. And this may be the time where you need to polish a pitch that you're trying to launch, or you may need to polish a project a little bit, or redefine or refine rather what it is or how you want it to be seen, okay? Communication is definitely going to be something that is under review, so really do, if you're putting out an application for something, if you're talking to a boss, if you're talking to your colleagues, make sure your words are clear, okay? Because some miscommunications could happen in this area of your life at this time, okay? So that is what I have for you in a nutshell for your July of 2025. Let me know if this resonates with you. Please keep in mind that these transits are happening as the months go by, so this isn't going to be something that all happens at once or right in the beginning of July, so it would be your best bet to circle back in this video and let me know what has transpired for you in those particular areas that I've named, okay? And so what I also like to do is I like to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation, okay, for the month of July 2025, all right? And your affirmation is going to be, my power deepens through emotional honesty and vulnerability, okay? Which is your biggest, thing anyway as a Scorpio riser, okay? So really do with that what you will. I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Sagittarius riser, suns and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you your July forecast, okay? There are going to be some 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm excited to deliver the forecast for the transits ahead, okay? So the first monumentous transit that's going to be happening for you is going to be your Uranus transit in Gemini, okay? This Uranus transit of Gemini is going to be happening in your 7th house of relationships, okay? So this is going to be bringing some unexpected shifts, some unexpected opportunities within love, within commitments, within business partnerships. This is going to be the time where some changes could be happening, where you could be going in some different directions within your relationships or your partnerships. This is going to be some definite surprises ahead, so expect the unexpected as far as it relates to your relationships in life, okay? So if you've been single, this could be the time where you meet someone new. If you've been looking for a new business partnership, this could be the time where a business partner could come out of nowhere, okay? So expect the unexpected. This is going to also be the time where you are meant to break free from old molds or old ideals you have had around your love life or around your partnerships in life, okay? This is the time to kind of radicalize things and become a bit more innovative or change the way that you go about them, okay? Outside of societal norms or outside of what people think is normal, if that makes sense, okay? So that is quite exciting. Some new connections are ahead for you. Moving forward, a little bit later in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces, okay? This retrograde in Pisces is going to be happening in your 4th house of home and family. And so this is going to be the time where the universe is going to be offering you a moment to really refine and work through some of your family connections or some of your responsibilities of home and family, okay? This could be the time where you are needing to create structure within your family connections, within your family bonds, within the home. How your family and how your home is set up is going to need some revision, and it's going to need some structure. You're going to need to take responsibility in this area. Whenever you have a retrograde transit in the chart, it shows that the universe is bringing up old themes, old challenges that we were meant to learn from, okay? And so at this time of this Saturn retrograde, you're going to find that there's going to be some challenges, some old themes that you have dealt with in the past that are going to drudge up again, where you will need to come at it from a little bit more of an evolved, knowledgeable sense of being in this present day, okay? And should you do that, you're going to be able to get through it and really work through your inner emotional, feelings in life, because the 4th house is all around your inner emotional world. It's around how you feel, how you are connected to your roots, your family, your home, and those things are going to need some tending to at this time, okay? Lastly, you're having a Mercury retrograde move into your Leo 9th house, okay? And so this is the area of travel, the area of higher education, your belief systems, and this is going to be the time where you may be rethinking your higher education. You may be rethinking your college experience. You may be rethinking some trips that you have planned for yourself, okay? This may also be the time where you are rethinking and reevaluating your personal philosophies in life, okay? So this is quite an exciting time for you with this energy that you are embarking upon in July of 2025. That was your forecast in a nutshell. Now, let me know if this resonates with you. Do know that this is not all going to be happening at once. These things are going to be happening as the month moves forward. All right, so it will be your best bet to circle back around at the end of the month and let me know what has transpired for you within the areas that I've mentioned around your higher learning, higher education, travel, your home life, and your relationships in life. Let me know if there's been some exciting changes and some reevaluations in those areas of your life. If you met someone new, let me know, okay? Also, what I love to do is I love to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation at this time, okay, for July of 2025. And so for you, your affirmation is going to be, I evolve through meaningful connections and truth in life, okay? So do with that what you will. I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. Bye. For my Capricorn risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm so excited to be bringing you your astrological horoscope and forecast for the month ahead. There are going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm excited to dive deep with you within them, okay? So first and foremost, you're going to be embarking on and experiencing this monumentous and transformative transit of Uranus moving into Gemini. Now, when Uranus, the outward planet, a generational planet, moves signs, this is very, very cataclysmic. This is a time of great change for everyone in the world, you know, not just you, but for you specifically. This is going to be offering you a 7-year window in a new area of life, and this new area of life for you is going to be within your 6th house of work. How you approach your schedules, how you approach your daily routines and your diet. And you may find that this is going to be the time where some unexpected shakeups could be happening to you within this area of your life. You may find that you want to change your routine, change your schedules, change your diet. You may even find that this could be the time when you change jobs or change your role within career, within your life at this time. This is going to be a big 7-year window, a whole new chapter for you in this area of your life. So kind of expect the unexpected, and also not only expect the unexpected, but be open to change in this area of your life, okay? This is going to be a time where change is needed. When Uranus is moving into the 6th house, these unexpected shakeups that may seem hard or inconvenient are actually trying to bring you into alignment, okay? So even if you are someone that's not really wanting to lean into the change or lean into you shaking it up, I want you to. This is the time where in you satisfying your stars, as I like to say, that you will be able to find yourself in better alignment within your career, within your health, within your schedules in life, okay? You may also pick up some very alternative, work, some very alternative medicine, right, that you may be tinkering in or taking at this time, some new supplements even. This could be the time where you may even find that you want a little bit more freedom within your schedules or how you conduct your day, okay? But this is going to be quite a time for you to stay flexible within the areas of work, service, your schedules, your dieting, your routines, okay? So go forth and prosper with that in that area. Later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in your Pisces 3rd house. Okay, and so this is going to be the time where there will need to be a little bit of a reality check in this area for you, okay? Because when you have a Pisces in the 3rd house is all around your siblings, your neighbors, how you think, how you communicate, and this area of your life is going to require a little bit of structure. This is going to be a sobering moment for you as far as it relates to your connections with your siblings and your neighbors and your people in the immediate environment, and it may require you to have a little bit of a reality check around how you communicate towards those individuals, okay? So old patterns may come up as far as around your communication skills, and you know, old sibling issues may come up. Do your best to really take responsibility for what needs to be said and how you say it, okay? Because this is that time, okay? Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in Leo, and this is going to be happening for you in your 8th house of intimate bonds, of shared resources and finances, okay? And you may find that this could be the time where past intimate lovers may pop up, okay? Or your past financial entanglements may pop up, and that may need attention at this time, or you may be thinking about them, okay, with this Mercury retrograde in Leo in your 8th house, okay? So you may also find that some hidden feelings may come up that need addressing, or that you may be thinking about some old themes in life or old traumas in life, all right? Old debts, old taxes that need to be addressed at this time, okay? So that is going to be your July 2025 in a nutshell. Let me know if you resonate with that. What I love to do is I love to leave this video and this forecast with a little bit of an affirmation for you specifically for your July of 2025. And your affirmation is going to be, my systems shift with purpose, okay? So that I can find alignment. All right, so that is what's going to be happening for you within your July of 2025. I'm wishing you all the best. Much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Aquarius risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm excited to be bringing you the forecast and the horoscope for this month ahead. There are going to be 3 major transits that are going to be happening in your sky at this time, and I'm excited to deliver the forecast for you within them, okay? So the first monumentous and groundbreaking transit is going to be that of the Uranus transit into Gemini, and that is going to be a new 7-year window for you, okay? When this outer planet of Uranus finally moves into a new sign, this is a new chapter for not only you, but for everyone, okay? And so this is going to be a new 7-year window in your 5th house of romance, okay? Your 5th house of creativity, your 5th house of fun. And so you may find that this could be the time where when Uranus transits into your 5th house, that some unexpected lovers may pop up, or a new love connection may pop up at this time, okay? You may also find that there could be a sudden love affair, there could be some creative epiphanies and downloads that you may have. You may become some, creative mad genius at this time, where just things are coming to you out of the ether and you can't even like write them down, but they're so brilliant, they're so innovative, they're so avant-garde and futuristic with this energy, okay? So really do be open to that. You may also find, if you are someone that is trying to have children, that this could be the time where you suddenly and unexpectedly conceive, okay? So if you are not someone that is trying to have children, do what you need to do so that that doesn't happen. But when Uranus transits into the 5th house, it makes you quite fertile, and you may find that you suddenly get pregnant, or you suddenly have a child, or you suddenly get someone pregnant with this energy of Uranus transiting into your 5th house. Okay, this is really like a wild card placement, so really do enjoy it. You may be having some sudden impromptu outings that are quite fun. You may be having some sudden impromptu dates. You may just be, again, it's a wild card. It's a fun wild card. Be open to it. Be open to the spontaneity of it. And it's a 7-year window. So it's not all going to be packed into July. This is going to be happening for the duration of the next 7 years. But I do know that when Uranus transits into this 5th house for the 1st degrees, it is going to give you that unexpected lover, or that sudden romance, or it's going to give you that sudden unexpected child, things like that can happen, okay? So that's quite exciting. Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in Pisces in your 2nd house of self-worth, self-values, your money, your finances. And this is going to be a time where you are needing to reevaluate and refine how you feel about yourself. Okay, this is going to be a time where you really need to rethink and reevaluate how you spend your money. This is going to be the time to tighten up, so to speak, if that makes sense. Okay, this is the time where you need to get a little bit more conservative about your spending or your money habits in life, okay? So that's what's going to be happening there. Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in your 7th house, which shows that, some misunderstandings within your partnerships, within your relationships, within your commitments could be coming up. This is also going to be the time where you may also be revisiting old dynamics with past lovers, or, old flings could be coming up, okay? You may even be having some overdue heart-to-hearts with some people that you really care about, okay? So this is that time, all right? Now, let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you are feeling this or seeing this in your orbit at this time. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and leave you with an affirmation for the month of July, and that is, I create from the soul, not the script, okay? I really do want you to take that affirmation and fly and prosper with it, all right, for the month of July 2025. But without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye. For my Pisces risers, suns, and moons, happy July 2025. I'm excited to be delivering your horoscope and forecast for the month ahead. Now, there are 3 major transits that are going to be happening for you in your sky, and I'm excited for you to dive with me deep into them, okay? And so first and foremost, you're going to be having a Uranus transit move into your 4th house, all right? Uranus is finally entering Gemini, and this is going to be a whole new 7-year window and a whole new 7-year story for you as far as it relates to home, family, relationship with mother, and how you feel about your inner emotional world, okay? And so this is going to shake some things up in this area. You may find that you could be moving, you could be renovating, redecorating, you could be changing the dynamic within your family, or the dynamic of your family is changing with this energy. You may get a surprise visit from a relative, or a surprise visit from the mother. Now remember, this is a 7-year transit, so you may find that during this transit, you may move, or a move is being asked of you, or a renovation is being asked of you at this time, okay? I do know in the early degrees of the first initial movement of this transit, you will get that unexpected visit, or you may get that unexpected shakeup within the home life, or you may be finding that there's just some different feelings that are being drudged up in your soul, in your heart, okay? In your feeling towards your family with this energy. Now, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Saturn retrograde in your Pisces first house. Okay, and so this is going to be a little bit of an upgrade, a little bit of a personal rebrand, a little bit with this energy. This is going to be the time where it's a little bit more reflective, where you are needing to work on who it is you are becoming in life. Okay, this is a moment for you to really focus on you, focus on your life path, focus on where you are going in life, focus on your identity, how it is you show up in the world, and what it is that you want. Okay, that Saturn retrograde is going to be really asking for you to really kind of sit down and get clear on those themes in life, all right? Because should you do, by the time the Saturn retrograde is over, you'll have a whole new sense of self, a whole new lease on life, if that makes sense, okay? And then lastly, later on in the month, you're going to be having a Mercury retrograde in your Leo 6th house, okay? So this is going to be the time where you may need to reflect on how you communicate with your coworkers, with your bosses, how you communicate at work and how you manage your schedule and your time is going to be something that this Mercury retrograde is going to be having you thinking about and revisiting in your mind, if that makes sense, okay? And you may need to reorganize your schedule to protect your sanity and mental health with this energy, okay? So really do try to work on that with this energy, okay? Let me know if this resonates with you. That was your July 2025 in a nutshell. Of course, there are other small, minute trends that are going to be happening in your sky, and I'll do my best to kind of stay on top of those. But without further ado, what I love to do is I love to leave you with a little bit of an affirmation for your July of 2025. And your affirmation is going to be, I return myself with strength and softness, okay? I return to myself with strength and softness. That is your lesson, that is your affirmation for the month ahead, okay? So without further ado, I'm wishing you all the best, much prosperity and abundance. You take care and be blessed. Bye.